Hi. Well, it's Friday the 13th of March. Markets have been tumbling globally with this coronavirus. So we're here to talk about what to do. There's lots of people worried, of course. Look, thankfully, I'll be honest, we've had very few calls, but please do call if you're concerned about anything. That's what we're here for. Hopefully, as I said, we've done our job and you understand the structure and the process. But I'm just going to go through now what we should be doing. It might sound a bit counterintuitive, but bear with me. So this is a typical portfolio, 60-40, it's pretty common. That means 60% of your assets are in global equities, shares, property. And that's fallen a bit the last couple of weeks, of course. And the 40% is in bonds, cash, bonds. That's held its own, might have even gone up a little bit the last couple of weeks, which is what it's supposed to do. That's your sort of insurance policy. So what's happened? That's a nice picture in January, but now it's March 2020, and that mix is now 50-50. So you've got the orange, your growth, it's now 50, and your cash and bonds by default are 50%. Why? The portfolio value has obviously dropped, but the shares have dropped, not the cash and the bonds. So what do we do? Well, let's look at history. Let's try to put some context into this. And this is, you won't be able to read this, I can send it around, but here's the summary. Since 1970, some of the worst falls have been around 36%. So let's say the market does fall 36%, US shares, which is about where we're at, unfortunately, but it's what's happened. And what happened? So the average recovery in the next 12 months was 44% every time since 1970. And there's about 20 occurrences where the markets have fallen like this. The average recovery is 44%. Sometimes it was up 69, 70%, sometimes only about 15, 20%. So what do we do now? Market could go lower, we know that, we don't know exactly what's going to happen next. But on average, over lots and lots of events, the market's actually bounced 44%. So if we don't rebalance, if we just sit still, it'll come back and we'll be 60-40 this time next year. Let's look forward. March 2021, wow, that was pretty scary. But we came back to 60-40, everything's okay. Glad we held our seats. The world didn't end, the sun came up. It's a bit scary right now, but things do recover. Or, what if we rebalance? Now, I'm not saying we do it today, but if we rebalance gradually through this process, it's the right thing to do if we can take our emotions out of it. Then, this time next year, it's March 2021, your portfolio will be 65%, 35%. See what's happened? The dip, we've bought on the dip, it's actually bounced back harder, and we've actually improved our percentage in that next year. Sounds bizarre, but that's what can happen. And you end up being about 8 to 10% better off from not rebalancing. So the logical thing to do is to, right now, there's no urgency, but we should be talking about, and what we're going to be talking about, is rebalancing through this period, because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for you. Of course, if you sold out, and some people are, you lock in all those losses and you never come back. So that's absolutely not the right thing to do. We think, just hold still for now, but rebalancing through this is the right thing to do. Of course, please call me. Let's keep this in perspective. We know what history has said about markets. Markets do recover. The sun has still come up. It is a bit frightening at the moment with this virus and things like that, but it will pass. We will rebalance through this, and we're here to help. Thanks.